Welcome to Rock Hard Riffs. This is the rock and roll guitar channel. Well, hey there guys, this is Rock Hard Riffs, the rock and roll guitar channel for the self-taught. In today's video, we're putting another entry into our For the Very Beginner playlist. And if you happen to be new to our channel, please take a look at our playlists. If you like what you see, please subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. Now, I was just kind of chatting back and forth through the comment section on one of my videos with a young lady, I believe it is, who was suggesting that we use a decibel meter for the volume of our amplifiers and that sort of thing. And I thought, well, I understand her situation. I understand you don't really need a decibel meter unless you want one. But really the thing to do is go by the rule of thumb, basically. A 20-watt amp, like you see in our Fender Mustang amp review and also our Orange Crush 20 RT review, 20 watts is plenty for bedroom volume. It's even overkill. But that, of course, is what the volume knob is for, right? So 20 watts for a bedroom is plenty enough. If you think you're going to play in a band, a 50-watt tube amp should be good enough for you. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details between solid state, etc., or tube, but just know that tube amps cut through better. They just do. There are all kinds of facts and statistics, etc., about that, but the tube amps cut through better. So, let's get on to today's video. We're talking about some tools and hints for the very beginner. Now, the first one, of course, is the selection of your guitar. Now, why should you listen to me? What do I have to offer? Well, I've been playing this thing for a long time, since I was a little kid. And, I've been doing this probably more than twice as long as a lot of the people you see on YouTube have been alive. So if that kind of gives you an idea. Now, of course, there are a lot of great channels out there. Check into those too as well. Now, again, the guitar is probably the most important thing for you to pick in the beginning. I know that some people are intimidated by electric guitars. I understand why, but they're actually much easier to play. Acoustics are harder to play. They have thicker strings, and the action, which means the level of the strings off of the fretboard, tends to be higher, so you have to push down harder on thicker strings. That will get to your fingers. I recommend a cheap guitar like this. This is an Epiphone Les Paul Special. It sounds great. It plays great. For $100 I got this guitar. You can't lose. Get yourself a cheap amp, a used amp, if you're kind of on the fence about what you're doing, so you don't lose a lot of money, investing a lot of money in this sort of thing, and away you go. If you want acoustic, of course, go for it. Just know that it's going to be more painful. Now, another thing that I strongly recommend, highly recommend, is a chord chart like this. Okay, this goes all over different frettings of different chords, and it can be a gigantic help. I still use tools like this to this day, and I've been, again, playing this thing since the late 1960s. It's been a long time. But yeah, I use this sort of thing all the time. It's great reference. The cool thing about this is that unlike your stuff that's online or on a computer or on your phone or whatever, you don't have to turn anything on. You don't have to search for anything. It's just sitting there right in front of you. You just look at it and say, oh, okay, and go right over it. You don't need to click on anything, no nothing. It's right there. Another thing, or things, I strongly suggest, and those are songbooks. Now, sometimes some of the stuff in here can be off-key or just arranged oddly. I don't know why, but they are sometimes. Now, this is my Beatles complete book. Look how thick that book is. And this is all good stuff. Everything is accurate in this book. Here is my Led Zeppelin song book. This is Led Zeppelin complete. Look at the difference between the thickness of these books. The Beatles put out a lot of music. In this book, there are some things, I don't know if I should say that they're wrong, but they're at least in a different key than the band had played them or recorded them. It's kind of peculiar. Some of the stuff is accurate, some of it is just, I'm not sure what to make of it. Here is a Black Sabbath, their first 4 albums in this songbook. I used to use this all the time when I was a beginner. Great stuff, and Sabbath is great stuff to learn if you're wanting to play hard rock or heavy metal and you're a beginner. This is a great place to start. Also, my Simon and Garfunkel Concert in Central Park songbook. It's basically all of their hits. Lots of great stuff in here to learn how to play. They have the diagrams. You don't need to know how to read music. That's the great thing about these. They have the diagrams of the chords over all the music. So really all you need to do is just learn the chords and then kind of figure it out for yourself after that. Another thing that I really recommend, and that is getting used to the sound of the A note. That right there. Get used to knowing that sound, and you don't really need a tuner to tune your guitar. If you can recognize that tone, according to my old high school classical guitar teacher, this is the most recognizable note on the guitar. That's the open A. Learn that and you can tune the rest of the guitar from there. Or if you have a little keyboard or whatever, but it's just a way to get around it. And then learn how to harmonically tune your guitar. I believe I have a video about something like that in our playlist for the very beginner. Check that out. But that's really important to know, of course, how to tune your guitar. You can't really play it without it. Here's another thing, guys. We'll end the video with this, and that is holding your guitar. Now, I'm not saying holding your guitar properly or improperly or right or wrong. What I'm saying is try this between your legs like I have it right here, instead of like this if you're sitting down and playing. This is better for your back. Your back doesn't twist or turn or anything like that. Now I have my foot propped up on a little footstool. This little guy right here. Okay, this is about 8 inches high or so, and I adjust my seat that I'm sitting on up and down to compensate for the height of the stool. Your leg should be about level, or your knee just a little bit above level, and that's to keep the guitar from sliding off, right? But this position, you'll find, is more comfortable than holding it to the side. Take a look at all of the great classical guitar players throughout time, and this is how they hold a guitar when they're sitting down. I do recommend to do this. Me personally, because my back is screwed up, I have to use a stand. But thank God for the stand, and that helps me a great deal. Alright guys, if you have any questions, or if you are an experienced player and there's stuff that you would like to add to this, please chime in the comments. Right? Let us know. If you're a beginner and there's something you want to know more, or something that you don't agree with or you don't understand this video, please leave a comment. I'll do my best to address that, or maybe somebody else will. Alright guys, stick with it. Playing guitar is a lot of fun. It's very cool, but it takes work. Just like anything that's worthwhile, it takes work. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining us. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next video.